Hello and good morning to UPSCFEVER.com's science section. So we are going to chapter number 8 is on water. March 22nd is celebrated every year as the World Water Day, and 2003 was celebrated as the International Year of Freshwater by the United Nations. Lastly, the decade 2005 to 2015 was declared as the Decade for Action on Water for Life. It is recommended by the United Nations that every person should have access to at least 50 liters of water per day, and 71% of the water on this planet 71% of this planet is covered with water, although most of that water is salty and so unusable. Some important properties of water are given in this chapter. Water has a high boiling point, which is at 100 degrees Celsius, and a very high freezing point compared to the other liquids. Freezing point is 0 degrees. There is also high heat of vaporization and high specific heat. The specific heat is high, leading to an advantage that when the temperature of the country or the place becomes high, the water does not heat as fast as the land and produces a moderation effect or a moderating effect on the land. So areas closer to the oceans or seas or water bodies keep low heat, whereas areas in the interiors of the country are heated and cooled very easily. The high heat of fusion of water helps the body regulate its temperature. Other properties of water are that it is a good conductor of heat, it has dipole moment, and it is an extremely good solvent of various types of solutes. And therefore, one important feature of being a good solvent is that it helps in the transportation of ions. You can note that down here in the plants. It is an amphoteric nature, that means it can act as an acid as well as a base, and it has a high dielectric constant. The reason for being having a high dielectric constant is that it has extensive presence of strong bonds between the hydrogen. As you know, the chemical formula of water is H2O. So there are two ions of hydrogen combined with one ion of oxygen, and there is a strong bond between the hydrogen ions. Some other properties of water are that sometimes water has dissolved magnesium and calcium hydrogen carbonates or hydrocarbonates, and these cause temporary hardness of water. Due to this hardness, soap does not form lather, and it is difficult to wash clothes and difficult to have bath in such water. However, such temporary hardness can be removed very easily, and this can be done by either boiling the water or it can be done by addition of lime. And this lime can then convert the hydrogen carbonates into carbonates, which are water soluble, or it can convert them into hydroxides. So both are water soluble and can be removed. However, permanent hardness of water is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfates of magnesium as well as calcium, and so to treat this we need washing soda. So washing soda is also known as sodium carbonate, which is needed for treating permanent hardness, whereas calcium oxide or lime is needed for treating temporary hardness. There is a presence of underground water resources, and these water resources are also known as aquifers. Aquifers are a source of water for various activities of humans like agriculture, etc. Here water is stored between impermeable rock layers, and therefore it easily accumulates there. Then there is a tabular chart of the water composition of this planet. As you can see here that 97% of the water is unusable for drinking purposes as it is salty. Only 2% of the water is fresh water and locked in the polar ice caps. Some other freshwater sources are groundwater, lakes, and inland and saline seas, soil moisture, water vapor, and finally rivers. So, some miscellaneous facts are given about water. First is that when rainfall occurs, it has highly disadvantage to the soil because the top layer of the soil contains organic matter and humus, and this gets washed away from the rainfall. But the canopy of trees, which is the leaf surface of the trees, forms a cover over the land, and when rainfall falls on this canopy, it slowly trickles down towards the ground, and so the water is stopped and soil erosion does not take place. Also, the roots of the trees hold the ground and the soil together and also prevent soil erosion. We must remember that in case there is a fire on an object and we want to extinguish that fire, then we should wrap a woolen blanket on that burning object. This will cut off its supply of oxygen and the fire will then extinguish itself. Secondly, hydrogen peroxide is an important chemical given here. It is used for three purposes. Number one, as a bleaching agent. Second, for treating industrial effluents. Effluent is waste from or chemical waste out of the reactions in these industries. And finally, it is also used as a pollution control agent. Regarding pollution control, one last point is mentioned here that eucalyptus is a very important tree and it should be planted along sewage lines as eucalyptus absorbs the wastewater and releases water vapor into the atmosphere. And so there are two advantages. One is that wastewater will be reduced, and secondly, we get harmless water vapor. So that was it about the chapter on water. Some other facts are there regarding the anomalous behavior of water, but they shall be covered in the next chapter. If you are confident, then you can attempt our quiz and you can score 80% and above marks and move ahead. So I will just briefly show you the questions. You can go to our website and attempt this quiz and read the remaining chapter. And if you want to take the printout or download this as PDF, you can do that also. So that was it about water and this chapter related to science. Thank you.